Hello, I'm Lisa Beaudoin and welcome to Lisa's Chat Room. Today I'm going to be talking about Google Gmail and Google Drive. Now, before I begin, my disclaimer is that this is for entertainment purposes only. I share with you information that I know. I'm not an expert and I do not work for Google or Microsoft or any other company. I'm sort of I'm not a know-it-all. Some people will think, oh, she just thinks she knows it all. No, I don't know much actually, but what I do know is what I need to know to get by. And one of the things I like about Google is that the Gmail and the Drive is that it is a great organizational tool and it allows you to, especially the Drive, will allow you to share things with other people. And that's up in here in the apps, which I will show you in a little bit. So before we get into that, I wanted to talk about Gmail itself. Now, from what I've read, you don't have to have a Gmail, but you do have to sign up for Google, right? And this is what I've read, and this is currently while this video is being taped, which is in 2022. So you don't have to have a Gmail, but why not? I mean, I actually have four. Nowadays on your phone, you can have multiple Gmails and you can just look up and see. So getting back to the Gmail, I would suggest you get one. It's a much easier this way. And again, it keeps things in a great organizational way, which I am a fanatic about. I have a hard time if things are out of place. So first of all, to have a Gmail account, all you have to do is go on the internet and do a search for Google Gmail sign up. And then you sign up with the ID and a password. You know me, I have a binder. So I have a binder with all my passwords and everything in it, and all my computer stuff as well is in that binder with indexes and whatnot. So once you sign on, you're going to see a screen very similar to this. And so before I get into it and before I get into any kind of program, I explain that how this program is. So all programs and all apps have what I call a framework. And the framework is this. It's going around, all right? The framework holds the menu options, it holds settings, it holds all different kinds of tips and tricks that you can do. Now, the inside is the canvas. So think of it that way. And all programs have this. So whether you're working in an email account or you're working on a certain program, you're going to see the framework on the outside usually, and you'll see the canvas on the inside. Now, some canvases will hold emails, some will hold text files, some will hold PDFs, whatever. Those are the files that they hold. Knowing that will help you understand and navigate through all your programs, Gmail, Drive, even the Drive has a framework. They all do. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is how to create an email to send out. And it's really simple. All you do is click compose. And what will happen is you will get a window here. And what I do is I expand that window by hitting this icon, the full screen icon, and it makes it bigger. And then you can enter the information, your email recipients here. I'm going to show you how to enter them in the contacts list in just a bit. But then you can write the name of your email, and then you put the information here. Below here, you have menus of different ways of creating different fonts and whatnot, left and right justification. Maybe you wanted some indentation, maybe you want bullet points, strike through, all this stuff you can investigate on your own. Below that, you also have other icons. You have the formatting options, which give you this menu here. Then you have attached files, which it's really simple. You just click on this and it will open up into your computer. You find the file you want to send, and then you can send it. However, if the file is really big, you may want to keep it on the drive, which is what I'm going to get to eventually in this video. This is what I really want to talk about here. You can also add a link. So you can open up the link and you can type the name of the link here, right? So the next thing you would do is find a link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and just type up roses, and I'm going to scroll down. Maybe I want to share some information about roses from this Wikipedia article, which Please donate to Wikipedia if you can. Here in the search bar, what I'm going to do is all I have to do is click on it once and it will bold the whole thing. However, if that's a problem, just go to the very far of it and go like this. The problem is some of these links are super long. So you might want to just back out of it. And all I did there was I clicked on over here somewhere, right? I clicked out of it and then go back in, click it one time again. Then that's with your left. I use my left mouse cursor for that. And then press Control C to copy and go back here, back into your email and press Control V, or you can right click as well to do this and press paste. And then what will happen is that will be in your email. So you don't have to have a huge long link. You can just have the name of the link. That's very nice to have. The other thing is the drive, which we will talk about in just a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out. And what happens is this email that I'm creating has been saved automatically in a draft. So I can call it up at any time I want to, and I can finish it off whenever I want and send it whenever I want to, which is really, really a nice feature. Okay. The other thing is, and now we're going to talk about this moving. I'm trying to keep in order. So we've got your menu items are here. And if you click more, there's all kinds of other things that you can look into. I'm not going to talk about them too much, but I am going to talk about the labels. So labels are like a filing cabinet. So you can think of it where you can have labels within labels. You can have folders within folders. They're folders basically. And so I could create a label, and maybe I want to call this first label main. Okay, main, whatever it is, I can create that label. All right. So now what's going to happen is up here, I have a folder called main. There's nothing in there yet, but that's what I have. So what I can do is I can either go down and I can create another folder. Let me get out of here. Go down here, create another folder, and maybe I'm going to put person one. And I can nest it into main. Okay, I can do that, which is cool. So then you can have subcategories of different things, and you can go as far as you want to with that. It's pretty nice. So here I've got main and I've got person one. So as an example for you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this example test email. I'm going to call it test email. I'm going to send it to myself, right? So you can see what happens. And there it is. It's in my inbox. So now I have this. When I open it up, what can happen is I've got these menus up here. So I can archive it. I can report it as spam. I can delete. I can mark it as unread so that it stays up at the top. You can make this however you want as far as organization. There's many things that you can do, and I'll show you that in a minute as well. But the basic ones are this. You can snooze to read it. You can add it to the task list in your calendar, which is great. And you can move it. So you can either create a label for it here on the fly, or you could move it. So maybe I'm going to put this in person one. And now when I go down to person one, it's there in that folder, in that label. All right. So the next thing is here you can have a meeting. So if I have Gmail and you have Gmail, we can create an interactive meeting and talk to each other through the Gmail itself, which is nice because I think this is a great feature. I think it's protected within the drive. So cool, right? So all you do is you just add, once you start adding contacts, which I'm going to show you that next, but once you start adding contacts, then you can have this, and it's called Google Hangouts, right? So I move myself over to the left side of the screen because I want to show the features here on the right side of the framework. So here, before we go up here, we're going to start here. We have a toggle split. So you can, like, if you're looking at an email, you can see the subject and then you can see what's in it, the body of it here. So you can pan down through emails that way. You can toggle off of that if you want to by hitting that again. Here's the keyboard, which if you click that, you will get a keyboard. Very self-explanatory. Here's your help file. And then here's your settings, which this is what we're going to talk about next here. So the settings, I can, when I click on that, I can change my theme of my Gmail look. So I could change it into this, right? And that's what I have for one of my Gmails. Like I said, I have a few of them, one for personal, one for business, and yada, yada, right? So, but maybe for this, I don't really want that because I want to demonstrate these features and it's hard to see. So I'm going to go back into the view all. I'm going to pan down. There's all different kinds of colors and things that you can choose from, but I am actually just going to go with the straight defaulted Gmail. All right. All right, so now going back up, I'm going to get out of there. I'm going to go back up into the settings and I'm going to go to see all settings. Now what will happen is within the canvas, there's going to be another menu at the top here. This tab is menu all the way over, all the way down to here. See, and this is the themes that you saw. That was the shortcut. So you could do that as well there, right? So here, this is the one I'm going to talk about the most, and I'm going to move over here. This one here, you can do all different kinds of things for your Gmail to make it better, to make it more user-friendly for yourself. I also have where I use the stars and the exclamation point and the colors to mark the importance of a Gmail. Now we're looking at the signature down here in this general settings tab. This is something I use a lot. And what you can do is you can create a signature with your name and whatever. If you have a business or whatever, and you can have more than one signature, which is great because then when you go to compose an email, you can take and add whatever signature you want. You can have a defaulted signature or you can add whatever one you want, which is great, right? Let's see. We've got labels. Here's your labels, all kinds of different things that you can do. As far as you can come in here, and this is where I come to manage them because I like to kind of see things in a bigger respect. It's when it's tiny and small, I have a hard time. And even over here, this is okay. But when I want to manage them, I come into here in the labels. You've also got different information here, accounts and imported. You can actually have your other emails, as far as I know, and I've done this before. You can have other emails coming into this account. So you don't have to go out to your other emails, right? Filters, forwarding and pop information that I'm not going to get into, add-ons, I'm not going to get into, chat and meet. Okay. You can set your custom, choices right here, right? And then advanced, offline, and then themes. The other feature on the generals tab is the vacation responder. That's really awesome. So you can set it for whatever day you want, and you can put thanks for your email or whatever, however you want to respond. And this is really great to like reach out to people, especially if you are on vacation and you're not going to be looking at your emails, but also too, like if you're a business, you can use this and say, thanks so much for contacting us, and, make a generalized template that automatically is generated when someone emails you. They get it automatically. So this is a pretty cool feature as well. Then finally, to get out of your settings, all you have to do, at least all I do, is click inbox, and that takes me out of the settings mode. Before we get to the Google Apps, which is where the drive is, I want to talk about these settings here. So the first one up here is calendar. And what will happen is when you click the little icon there, you're going to see a condensed version of these settings. So all you have to do is hit the open in the new tab. And what it will do is it will open in a new tab, right? And then it will give you a very advanced calendar system. So the beauty of this is you can add many calendars. So maybe on your private calendar, you might have certain things on here, like doctor's appointments and whatnot, which sync up with your Gmail account on your phone, by the way. It works really well. And I have Gmail on my phone, which I will show you how it works, how that is set up. So anyway, you can see that I have different types of things on here. I can add other calendars. I can add other people's calendars to this. They can share their calendars with me, so then I can see what's going on with them. And when the calendars are added, it's called overlapping. So you can deselect. If you're seeing more than one calendar, you can deselect them or you can see them all at once. It's super, super nice. I love it. And then it has reminders as well if you want to do reminders. Very, very nice thing. You can set different kind of modalities. And then also too, you've got a settings in here. So very cool, cool feature. Again, this opens in another tab. So I'm going to shut out of that tab and I'm going to shut out of the calendar setting. And then here we've got stuff to keep. That's another thing. I'm not going to really talk too much about that. Here we got tasks, right? Same kind of concept. You can get started in tasks. Let me put me over here again. Sorry, I'm all over the screen, right? So here you can have tasks. You can add a task, which will be added to your calendar and you'll get reminders. Okay, just a couple more features on the right-hand side of our framework that I want to talk about. The first one is this plus sign. This is called Get Add-ons. These are extensions. They're special enhancements and features that can be added to the Gmail experience. To learn more information about that, you can do some internet search, but you can also look in here and see all the different extensions that they have that you can use with the Gmail. So the last thing we're going to talk about on this side is the contacts list. Now you can get to it by clicking on the little people, the little person button, and the navigation pane will show up for you. Now what you can do is just press get started and you will have your contact list loaded on a different tab. So that's real important for you to understand. It's not within the framework of the Gmail. Okay. So here we've got a few options. First of all, looking at the settings, let's take a look at that right here. This is the settings button. You can undo changes that you've done, and then you have more settings, and it's basically, do you want to sort by the first name, last name, the number, country code? I'm in the United States, so that's what I use, right? So this also too can lead you to the Google Apps, but we're going to wait for that till we get done with this here. So we've got basically 3 different ways to create contacts. Now, when you email, you automatically store that person's email into the contacts list, even though you might not store their name. So what I do is I like to try to create the contacts list first. And then what I will do is, and sometimes you just don't get caught up with it, right? So what Google does is it automatically will take everyone that you've sent emails to and keep it. And there is an option to toggle that off, which I'll show you in just a second. But to create a contact, all you have to do is click this button. Now you can import contacts too first. And now a lot of programs, I mean, every program basically has what they call a CSV file or VCard file when it comes to contacts. And you can just select the file. You know, you can download it onto your computer and then upload it into this Gmail. To learn more, you can click here. Right? I'm not going to get into it too much, but you can, now when you create a contact, what happens is you get another canvas. Remember, this is the frame, right? People are like, oh, now I get it, right? So this is the frame and this is the canvas. So you would enter their information here. And as you pan down, you can go to show more and you can enter a lot of information about a person, right? And then you save it. Once you've entered something, then you press save. This button will highlight and that person will be saved to your contact list. Demonstration, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 contacts, and all I'm going to do is put in the name and the email address. So let's get going here. Create contact. Right. So I'm going to put name 1. Now I wanted to show you a little trick here. Say that I had this separated. I can, with my left mouse cursor, if I click it twice, it will bold, it will block the characters that are between spaces. So in other words, if I had name, okay, just for example, if I have name, I could come over here and I could control or click twice and I will have that one. Now, if I wanted the whole thing, I would click 3 times, 1, 2, 3. and that will grab all that information, right? That's a little trick for you. And then again, you can take and you can right click to copy, or you can press Control C. So I'm going to put name 1, and I'm going to double click, press Control C, go down to my email, Control V to paste at gmail.com. And I'm just going to quickly make 2 more. Double click, Control C, Control V, and 1 more. All right, so now if I click on the contacts, you can see I have 3. And what you'll see is you'll see their icons, but also too, if they have a Gmail account, you will probably see their photo, their login information, just like I have my own login picture. You'll see the same thing for them here, right? What a great feature. Now, there's many things you can do to versatilities to edit this information. You can click on it and you can go into the editing information. You can click here and edit information here as far as like printing, exporting, adding labels, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Or you could go over here and you can do things here too, right? You can also star these, which means say you have family members that you want at the top. You can star it and it will make a copy of it for you. So you can unstar it. It will not delete the email, the Gmail account. Okay, so let's go now to labels, because that's really what I think is one of the greatest features here is you can create a distribution list. So making this is a little bit different than a folder. You can't nest. As far as I know, you don't nest a folder within a folder. You just have folders, labels, distribution lists for separate things. So let's create a label. We're going to say that I have an art group. Okay, and we're going to save that. Now, let's say that I'm also in another art group and I talk to them and I send stuff to them too. So let's just create another label and we'll say this is Anna's. What's going to happen is when you see it here, it's going to be alphabetical. So here's a little trick that I do. What I do is I actually have it by, I'm going to go in mine first. Oops, sorry. I'm going to go here. I usually do it by alphanumeric, which is important to me. It's like I keep things in categories. So I could write art 1, Lisa's group, like this instead. And then in Anna's, art 2, and just remove that art over here. We don't need it. It's redundant. So now what's happened is, oh, see what I did? So now what you can see is that it did alphanumeric. Now I don't have to write art. I could do, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to press home and that'll bring me to the left side of the text. I could do A1. And I could do A2. All right, so now I've got 3 contacts and I just want to kind of do a little quick overview of the things that I just showed you so that you can hear, because sometimes I talk a little fast. Creating the contacts, pretty simple. You just click here. You can edit. And remember, you can double click to grab one string that's together without spaces. If you have 2 strings, you triple click. You click 3 times. 1, 2, 3, right? You can right click to copy and to paste wherever you wanted to paste it. You can also go to the very beginning of this text by pressing the home key. You can go to the very end by pressing the end key. So that's what I was doing. These are like really nice, helpful tools so you don't have to constantly type or move your mouse, especially if you're using a touchpad, it would be a little more difficult to do those things, right? The next thing I wanted to just say and mention is here you have the icons for the contacts. And what will happen is when you start to use the Drive, which is an interactive tool, and you start sharing information, when you share that information, and no matter how you share it, if someone else is on and looking at that information, you will see their icon. And I will mention that again later on, but I wanted to make sure that you know that. And also too, if they have a picture, you will more than likely see their image here. And it'll also have their name too when they're on these interactive documents in the Drive and sheets and whatever that you use. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to drag these contacts into my distribution lists, right? So how I do that is I go onto a name, I hover over it. I don't go in here. I just click on it with my left mouse and you can see there's a little finger, it's like this. And I'm just going to hold my mouse down and drag that name. And you can see it says add one contact to label. Now, what I could do is instead of just grabbing one, I could grab many by clicking on the box and then doing the same thing, taking and holding down the left side of the mouse, keeping it down and then dragging it over. And you can see it says add two contacts to the label. So that's another nice feature that you have here that you can use to make it a little bit easier when you're creating these lists. Another way to move a contact to the distribution list is by hovering over their information and going over here to the kebab, it's called, clicking on that, and then clicking on the distribution list, the label, which should be down here. You can also remove them or you can add them that way. So that's another great feature. Now you can see that there's 3 people in my list. You can see that there. And now in Anna's list, I think what I'm going to just do is I'm going to say just these 2 people are in her list, or maybe it's just name 1 and name 2. So I'm going to, again, hold down my left mouse and drag it down to hover over Anna's group folder and let go. So now Anna's got 2. So when I click on my group list, I have 1, 2, and 3. Now, what you've got to be careful about is you don't want to delete these names, these contacts out of here, because if you delete them out of here, you will delete them out of your contacts. So what you want to do is you want to come over here to the 3 little dots and press, click remove from label. That is how you would want to do it. Do not delete them. Here, you can delete the label itself. You can go in here and I just clicked on Anna's group and I can either keep all the contacts and delete just the label, or I can delete all the contacts and delete the label. So now what I can do is I can create an email, and instead of writing all those email accounts in there, I can just put, I can call it up by A, or I can call it up by Lisa. See, I'm typing Lisa. I can call it up by group. And so what will happen is if I, it doesn't matter how you call it up, it'll pull it for you. I can click here and it will add those email contact accounts into my email, which is a wonderful thing. I just love that so much. You can also, it's called on the fly. You might need to add somebody this time that's not on the distribution list, right? So you can do that. And all you do is that. So what I did was I'm going to do name 5 at gmail.com. And then when I hit return, it will add it. Now you can see that there's X's here. So what I can do also on the fly is, oh, maybe I'm looking at this and name 2 is no longer part of the group. So I can take them out of the group by clicking this. I can take them out of the email by clicking this. And then I would go into my contacts and I would go here and I would make sure that I just remove them out of that distribution list. So then I just have that person there, whoever it is. And I somehow grabbed the wrong one. There we go. So I might have that. And that's what a really nice feature. It's kind of hard to show everything all at once. It's very difficult to share it. I'm trying to do step by step by step, but there's so many different steps. But once you know it, it's such a great feature to do this. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this. Carbon copy is when you CC other people, it's called, which everybody can see each other. Blind carbon copy is when you have people down there and they don't see each other. So you can research that more, but that's what that's about there. If I needed to, I can also review the information and I can open that information if I needed to update that contact. That's really a great feature. The other thing is, while I'm creating the memo, maybe I'm not going to send this, but I'm going to get it ready. Maybe there's some things that I need to say. Hi, everyone. You know, today marks the first anniversary of our group. You know, and I could be writing things on the fly. When I save this, or when I X out of this, what will happen is it will go into my drafts folder, like as in before, right? Then I can open it up. And again, I just press this to create a full screen. And this is when I can add the attachments, or I could add a link, or I could add something from the drive. And so then when I pull the file or the folder or whatever, and I'll show you how to do that. When I pull that into this Gmail, I have the option to have people just take a look at it, or they could take a look at it and edit it. There's all different kinds of preferences that you can make. So then what you're going to be doing is you're sharing that information with those people that are going to be in the drive. And I will show that to you in a little while. But this is a really great feature. It's so nice to be able to keep the draft right here. It's awesome to be able to go in there and add people on the fly or have this distribution list. Really nice. Very, very nice. So the last thing about it is, like I said, when you send out an email, Gmail will automatically save that email name in your contacts folder. So a way to stop that, if you want, is by going in your settings and go to see all settings, go to your general. In this part, in this category, create contacts for autocomplete, you can deselect and just have I'll add contacts myself right here. Okay. I personally like it on because what I'll do is every once in a while, I'll go into my contacts list and I'll just edit it and add names when I need it. All right. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to get out of the settings. Again, the settings are within the framework. They're part of the canvas of the framework of Gmail. So all you have to do is go over here and click the inbox and you're back over to the Gmail. So that's it for the Gmail on Windows, and I'm using Windows 10 here. I'm going to be talking about how to install Gmail on your Android phone. So I have a Galaxy S8, it's right here. And what I do is I go into my settings, which looks very much like this, okay? I have like 9 pins. And when I'm in my settings, then I can see all my apps, which I think you can kind of see them kind of, all right? So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for an icon for the Play Store. And that icon looks like this. It's the Google Play, used to be called the Play Store, I think. So I'm going to press that. And then I'm just going to write in, you can either write Google Gmail or you can write Gmail. And what will happen is you will see, let's get over here, Gmail. You will see this M. You will see that icon. Okay, that's the correct icon. And then you will press install. And what it will do is it will load it into that, your apps, into the apps here. And then all you have to do is press on it, hold it, and move it to your front screen. And that's how I do it. I just press it and you can either press add to home or you just keep holding it and it'll move it wherever you want it on your screen. Then I have to click on it and I have to add my ID and my information to it. If you have more than one Gmail, you can literally, which I do, I just click my picture. I have different pictures on different Gmails. So then I can go to, it lists the other Gmail accounts I have and I can go there. And of course you're going to need an ID and a password to get in there, right? All right, now we've touched base on Gmail, the overview of it, the framework, the canvas of a program, correct, or an app, right? We've talked about the menu items, the labels, pretty much the things that you need to know in order to use Gmail. There's also so many other things that you can just go out and research and find out for yourself more about that. Because what I want to do now is I want to get into Google Apps. Now, before I do, I want to show you this icon here. This is my Google account. And this is a public account that I use for my chat room, Lisa's chat room at gmail.com. If I clicked on here, I can add more Gmail accounts that I have, which I do. I have a personal, I have a public, I have a business and whatnot. That is there. Okay, so you would click on there and you could add another Gmail account. Here, I'm going to click this and you can see that there are many apps in here, including my account, my Google account. Now, the Google is it's basically it's the home page, and the Gmail is kind of an offshoot of that. Okay, it's the top of the filing cabinet, and it basically has preferences of what you want to do, how you want to protect your Gmail, how you want to protect your account here. So, and everything from, how you're going to share any kind of subscriptions you have, any kind of debit or credit cards you want to put on there. Lots of stuff there. I suggest you go research that a little bit more because I'm not going to touch base on that. What I'm going to get into is I'm going to get into these apps here, just talk for a minute about them. We've got the calendar here as well as on that right menu, correct? We have photos. We have contacts here as well. We have Meet. So some of the icons that you have here, you also have here. And here's the Play Store, okay, the Google Play, where you can go get more apps and more things, right? What we're going to hone in now on is the drive. So the drive looks like this. It's a triangle with these really pretty colors. We're now in the Google Drive. And what it basically is a kind of like a filing cabinet storage out on the internet that is connected to your Google account. So how I access it, sometimes I'll do it through my Gmail. Sometimes I'll just do it through the drive itself on my phone if I'm using just my phone. Usually if I'm using my computer, it'll be through my Gmail. So the first thing I want to talk about when we get here is that, again, we've got the framework, right? And we've got the canvas, and the canvas can hold all different kinds of files, which I'm going to show you some examples in a minute. But first I wanted to show you the menu items to the left are kind of like the same style as the Gmail, right? We've got My Drive, computers. This is the one that I think is really awesome because you can share files with other people and they can share with you. So if they share a file with you, this is where you would click to see those files. There's other information that you can click on, and then here you can buy storage. So right now, currently during this video, it's $1.99 a month for 100 gigabytes. So not too expensive if you use up the storage that you have. It's kind of like you have a little defaulted storage within the drive when you sign up for the Google or the Google Gmail. So getting back to the Canvas, the main things that I use are this button here. I create folders, which I think folders are a must. If not, you're going to have a lot of messiness in here. I'm like, I used to do that, and it's like, oh, I can't do that anymore. So to create a folder, you just click create a folder, and you can just type whatever your subject is, and it will go into your drive, right? And then what will happen is when you click on that folder, then that folder will open up and any files that you have stored there will show. Now to the right, you will see the information within those files. If you don't want to see that, you just click on the eye at the top here, hide details. If you want to see it, then you show details, okay? So here I can just pan through and say, what is this? What is this? Naming systems, you can name things all different ways. Sometimes I name it by the date. And then sometimes I name it by the first name. So it stays all in alphabetical and then numerical order. So you can copy what I'm doing or do whatever you want. So, but the two files that I want to talk about are the Google Docs and the Google Sheets. When you click new, you can also file upload or folder upload from your computer. You can do other different types of, uh, of files as well. You can do blank presentations, Google Forms, and then also there's lots more. But for this video, I'm just going to hone in on the docs, and then I'm going to show you the sheets, and that's it. And the second video, I'm actually showing you, it's more about just the Google Sheets and how it works. So I'm just going to touch base on the Google Sheets. But first, before I get there, I want to talk about the Google Docs. To create a Google Doc, you just click your caret here and you press blank document, or you can get one from a template. There's lots of templates out there. So once you create a document, what will happen is it will open up like this. It will be, this will just say blank or name your document. So then I just named this document here. Here again, we have the framework. This time the framework is right on the outside here and it comes around, right? And then we've got the framework for the drive itself as well, the Google, I should say, itself. So this is just an example I wanted to show you. I think, instead of going through all these menu items, it's something you should do. This I call a text menu, and these are icon menus. You can hide them all by clicking view full screen. You can show them by pressing escape. You can hide just the text menu and the title by hitting this caret here. And then you hit it again and it will open up that menu. You can go up here, click here and press Control with your mouse, scroll up and down to create a bigger menu and document area. Or just to create the document area, you can go in here and you can do a zoom feature. This is really nice because I'll be able to share this with other people. But before I get to there, I want to talk about a couple more features here. We have the link, just like we do in Gmail, where you can link some type of an internet address to it. And it's pretty self-explanatory, just like in the Gmail. You have comments, where you can create a comment, where maybe somebody has seen this and they are writing you a memo here, just a little note. Hey, you forgot this on this memo. And what I did was I created just a fictitious Lisa's art group. And I'm saying that there's people in my art group. And so I'm going to be sending this little monthly memo out to everyone. So this is pretty nice. Again, these icons are pretty self-explanatory. You can also add pictures, and you can do lots of things. You just have to click in these buttons and see in these menu items, and you'll be able to see. Mostly what's important is you can download this to your computer, right? In many different formats. You can rename it, you can move it, you can email it, you can share it. That's what I do a lot with a lot of people. I share with others, right? So then here is the share button. Now I can share it this way, or I can share it by right clicking. This one here, right click, and I can share right here. So there's many different ways. There's features and tips and tricks you can do, but you can share it this way. You can get a link, all kinds of different things. While you are in it, it is automatically saving for you. There is no save button, which kind of trips me up because I'm so used to clicking save. However, there is a back and a forward button. There's an undo and a redo. Those are my best friends. And then copy paste is Control C, Control V. To get just one word, you click it one time. To get the whole line, you would click it 3 times. I forgot, right? And you can see that I was editing it. So if I edit it again, release paint, it will automatically show up, and eventually it'll show that it says last edit was seconds ago. Now, if I shared this, it would show that I'm editing it. So I'm actually filming this little snippet and putting it in between those two other snippets that I have in the video here, because I wanted to show you a couple more things here. To share, you can share here, and you can add people here. So I could use, instead of creating an email, I could do it here, right? And what would happen is I can write a message, and I can also have it where They can see things, they can edit things, right? And I can do different techniques like that, right? And so then I can say, hi, here's the memo for this month. Okay, I could do that, right? But what I could also do, and I'm just going to get out of here, is, or another way is to, once I've created a Gmail, which this is that Gmail, that draft that we were working on, I could add it here. So the first thing I would do is I would add my distribution list. And right now I've only got 2 people. I can now add the attachment, whatever it is. If it's it could be a PDF, it could be a photo, it could be on the drive, it could be a doc, it could be a sheet, whatever you're adding. So here I'm going to insert, go into that folder, find that file, and there it is. And then I can send it off. It's going to ask, can people have access? Anyone with the link can view this. You could also have don't give access. I've never done that. So, but I've always given access to the people who need to see this. And so after you have shared with other people and they start coming on, what will happen is you will see them appear and they could be interacting too. And you'll see that information right here. Pretty nice, huh? So lots of nice things. And to me, it's interactive. So while you're on it, someone else could be on it. And you can elect to either have them just see it, or they could see it and make edits, make changes. There's lots of different features that you can do. Now, when people are sharing with me, I can go here and click shared with me, and I will be able to see all the information here that they're sharing with me. When I click my drive, I can see this information here, right? And I can see this either in document view, so I could go like this instead and have it where when I click this, I see sort of the documents, or I can have it in list view. So that's a pretty nice feature as well, right? It also has the settings. So there's a few settings you can go in here and you can check it out. You can buy storage and just notifications and different apps and things that you can, the features that are create this into a more enhanced application. So pretty nice, all right? So going out of this one, I'm just going to go back to my drive. I'm going to go back into my menu or my folder, and then I'm going to hit this one. Now this is a sheet. So what this is if I go new Google Sheet and I click blank, that's what this is. It's a spreadsheet. It'll come up as untitled. I can change the title here. I can change the title here. And it just brings me back up there, but I can still do it that way. Example, right? Same thing about the framework. You have the same type of features here, okay, except this is what you call a spreadsheet. So spreadsheet applications have more than one file attached to them, one spreadsheet attached to them, and how they're attached is through what they call tabs. So this is basically a hyperlink to this spreadsheet, and I can create many hyperlinks, many spreadsheets. So now I have that one, and I have this one. So I can make, if I go on to my first one, I can type Lisa. Here I can type test, and here I can type hello, right? So now you can see that I'm moving through these spreadsheets, and there's a lot more information. I give that into this, the second video. We'll talk about that more. Just to touch base with this, it's basically cell references. It's a wonderful tool. You can make lists. I've made budget management files that I share with other people. I've made music set list, really nice set list features that I've done. And then you can download this to your computer, right? Which is great. You can share it. You can email it again. There's many different ways to share. And then what is really nice with this is you have a header row that you can create. And so let's just say I created that, and I'm going to just say Lisa, Deb, Shirley. Okay, and I'm I'm going to put Maine. I mean, I'm just typing really fast. Laser up. These are all fictitious people, by the way, and Durand. Okay. Durand. All right. So what I want to show you is this is what you call a header row. So I can freeze that by clicking here and pressing view, freeze, first row. And now that top row, that header row is frozen. I can freeze the rows and the columns. I can also create filters. So I can go data, create a filter. So if I have a huge long list, what I can do is I can click in here and I can either filter by color, condition, or value, which I talk about that more in the second video, but I wanted to show that to you. I can also, again, here, create a link. I can do comments in here, lots of different features. And this is more of a, this also does calculation. So I'm not going to get into that here. I just wanted to kind of show you how this works. I do that in the next video and the video after that. All right. The interesting thing about this that I'm not used to is you don't have to save it. It is saving itself. And I do recommend if you're going to do anything particularly delicate with it, I would make a copy. Definitely make a copy and put the date. So in video one, this video here, we've talked about Google Gmail, Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, right? I've showed you the different framework and how you can kind of think of that in your brain. You got the framework and you've got the canvas and how that works and how that canvas can be different types of files. And then understanding how to compose a Gmail and how to create the Google Doc or the Google Sheet. I think that's, you're well on your way now to being able to use this really wonderful tool. The best thing about it is that you can share it. So nice. There's a lot more that you can explore on the Google Gmail and the Drive. I'm going to just touch base on one more thing, and that is how to get the Drive onto your Android phone. I have a Galaxy S8 again, and all I do is hit the 9 buttons, which are the settings, which looks like this right here. And then I look for this icon, the Google Play, and I go to the Drive. I can type either Google Drive or Drive. And what you will see is the insignia for the Drive, which is this little triangle here. And then you can download that. Again, you can add that to your apps and you can add it to the front of your phone. And so then what you can do is you could be working on any file on your computer or on your phone. And you can open up the Drive and you can see your files here. You can even download them onto your phone if you need to. There are different apps and different download things that you can get. So really nice. It's very interactive. I can go onto a Google Sheet or a Google Doc. I can see who's on it. I can manipulate it in this way too. So in the next video, I'm going to be talking more about how to work with Google Sheets. And then I think I'm going to make another video where I'm going to show about how to do calculations because that's a little bit more involved. So that's it for this video. Please, if you've liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, please hit the subscribe and notification bell. And please share this with your family and friends because it's a really great tool that other people can use as well. So with that, please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again next time in Lisa's chat room.